See, everybody has discouraging moments. Everybody have discouraging days. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how much success you have. Everybody has discouraging moments. The key is, how do you handle these moments? That's what's going to determine the outcome. My suggestion is, create a solution. So you have problem, solution. You have to build a bridge from the problem to the solution. Think of it like this. In the long run, those problems won't matter. Weeks from now, months from now, years from now, that same problem won't even matter. A lot of people make the mistake of actually focusing on the problem. They don't even focus on the solution. They don't even start building the bridge because they're so caught up into the problem. Instead of you focusing on that problem, you focus on the solution. Because if you focus on the solution, you're going to eventually get there. If you focus on the problem, you're not going to get anywhere. You're just going to get a whole bunch of doubt and a whole bunch of distress, which is going to lead to dis-ease and a whole lot of other stuff. And you're going to attract all this negative energy. Well, if you think positive, you attract positive energies. I would say sit down, brainstorm, figure out a solution, figure out a couple of solutions, and then go from there. Once you figure out the best solution that fits your problem, start working towards it. It's going to actually make you feel a whole lot better than just sitting there pouting about the problem. There's also a lesson behind every discouraging moment, every discouraging event. It's a lesson to be learned. It's a chance for growth. It's a chance to get wiser. Now, if you don't learn the lesson and you don't get the blessing out of that moment, you're going to keep repeating it until you do learn. You repeat the same things until you actually learn it. If you even go back and you look at discouraging moments throughout your life, you'll find that it was a blessing in those moments. You just overlooked it. But exercise the right of actually going back, looking through these events, and find out what your blessing was in them. And you'll be glad that you did. It's not the end of the world because you're actually going through it. Because as I said, everybody goes through these moments. The matter is how you're going to handle them and get that blessing out of them. Change. If you become successful and you can't adapt to change, you won't stay successful. The successful people that I've studied, they've been able to maneuver and adapt to change. That's like you trying to be MC Hammer and doing a hammer dance today when it was relevant in the early 90s. It won't work because it's changed. The world is not going to stop for anybody. Time is not going to stop for anybody. We can't control change. The only thing you can do is adapt to it and adjust to it and move forward. Let's say, let's take somebody's grandma. Put them at your job. You know, most grandmas, they're not about to work on a computer. They're stuck in their own ways and they feel that they don't need a computer for much of anything. They've been doing what they've been doing for the last 30 years, so they're not trying to change. But you as a young person, you have to know how to adapt to change. If you're stubborn and you don't want to adapt, you get left behind. Left behind people, they tend to get the lowest paying jobs and things of that nature. Because the things that are, most jobs that are high paced and most jobs that are going to stay relevant require change. So you got to know how to move with the times. Time usage. This is my favorite section right here. Time usage. We all have the same amount of time. We all wake up with the same amount of time. We all have the same amount of time in the day, in the week, in the month, in the year. Well, how do some people seem to get so much done while other people seem not to get much done? My studies have shown me that they make good use of their time. I'm going to give you some examples, and then I'm going to tell you how you can actually make good use of your time. The examples I've come up with. Great one, Will Smith. Will Smith said while the other guy's sleeping, he's working. While the other guy's eating, he's working. And I'm not even going to tell y'all what he said after that. You have to research that. Michael Jordan woke up early in the morning, knew he wasn't good at baseball. What he would do is, he would ride to practice early in the morning while everybody else sleep. And he would visualize his father being on the passenger side. And he would look over there and have talks with him. And he would hit balls from sun up to sun down. And they said they had to almost beg Michael to leave because Michael really wanted to stay because he was determined to actually get this batting thing down packed. Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons says he wake up at 5 a.m. every morning And he goes through all of his projects and he works. He just continuously works throughout the day. He says that's all he can do, but he gets it in. P. Diddy said that you have to work hard to be good. But he said you almost have to kill yourself to be great. So you look at how these people use their time and you compare it to how others use their time. There are two types of acts. Goal-achieving acts and tension-relieving acts. Goal-achieving act would be an act that would get you closer to some form of success that you're seeking or some goal that you really want to fulfill. Like it would be doing research on a new business that you want to start. It would be making phone calls for your business. It would be looking over files if you have a job like a caseworker job or something like that, looking over cases or things of that nature. When you have extra time, you just doing things that's going to get you ahead. Tension relieving acts. You chatting lunchtime, you're not looking over any files or anything like that. I know it's your lunchtime, but when you have a little extra 15 minutes instead of you looking over your files, you're going to chat that 15 minutes. For people that have regular jobs, every chance you get, you on Facebook posting statuses. You on Twitter all day long. You texting all day long. You looking for the phone to call such and such. When you got a little bit extra time, or some of y'all spend your whole day doing this stuff. How could you think that you're going to become a success or get a lot of things done by doing these acts? Also club. A lot of people club every weekend. If you want more, you got to do more. Now, successful people, they engage in these acts. But the key is they keep the acts to a minimum. They go out to the clubs and, you know, they text and they on Twitter, but they keep them to a minimum. They focus on what they have to do while they keep these acts down. The way to tell if you're getting ahead versus if you're not getting ahead, every time you're about to do a certain thing, ask yourself, is this going to contribute to my success or my goal that I've set? Or ask yourself, is this event just, is what I'm doing just a tension relieving act, just to relieve tension and make me feel better? And that will let you know if you're headed in the right direction or not. Also, the law of sacrifice says that you have to sacrifice something of a lower nature for something of a higher nature. You can't have everything. So if you want to get better or you want more of something in your life, you're going to have to sacrifice something. So you may sacrifice being on Facebook or Twitter to actually make these phone calls to do this research that you need to do. You may sacrifice going to the club for getting an A on your test because you're going to stay home and you're going to actually study for the test versus going to the club. So you sacrifice something to get something more. Now, if you don't make that sacrifice, then you're not going to get something of a higher nature. You're going to just get the same results. Also, it's all repetition. Once you get used to actually doing whatever it is you like to do and doing whatever it is that you want to do, and you get used to working towards your goal, it becomes repetition. Law of non-resistance says whatever you don't resist persists. So if you just constantly work at this, after a while you ain't going to really resist it anymore because you're working on it all the time. Importance of providing service. There's no such thing as getting something from nothing. What you put out is what you get back in life. Law of receiving says that what you put out is what you get back. And also, receiving is the first law of life. You were given life. Receiving and giving is actually connected. A lot of people just want to receive. But see, if you're not giving nothing, then you're not going to receive much. The more you put out, the more you'll get back. If you want more in life, increase what you're doing. If you want less, decrease. Law of compensation, one of my favorite laws. This law is based on the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the difficulty there is in replacing you. Let me repeat this. The need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the difficulty there is in replacing you. Now, if you don't find this to be true, it's insane. You take somebody like Peyton Manning, very good football player. Somebody say, we're going to pay him $1 million a year. You know, he's going to laugh at them. A lot of us would take $1 million a year, but see, he puts out a lot. And how many people can replace him at what he do? His ability to do it is amazing. Difficulty there is in replacing him? Very difficult. So just look at it like that. Kobe Bryant, same way, highest paid player in the NBA. Very hard to replace him. Then you look at somebody like Jay-Z, very good rapper. Very hard to replace him. So he can ask for $1 million a show and he gonna get it. Because the service he's providing is almost impeccable. Or Johnny Cochran. Rest in peace, Johnny Cochran. But when he was alive, you know, people would constantly look for him. He probably had to hide from work at certain points in his life because he was so difficult to replace. So people often look for him. So if you really want to increase your value and increase your stock, just get better. Be a master at what you do. Try to be the best at what you do and become very difficult to replace. And you will never need money or work again, but you'll have trouble hiding from it. Because people will be trying to contact you like, oh, I need him to speak at my event. Oh, I need him to come host my rap concert. I need Peyton Manning as a quarterback. They're going to look at it like that. They're going to really want these people on their team. Now, let's say you don't want the celebrity lifestyle. You're just an everyday working person. I'm going to tell you how to increase your value. Number one, have a good attitude. Now, ladies, I know y'all get y'all hair done all the time. If you walked in there and you said that, you know, I want my hair done such and such, and the lady had an attitude with you, you wouldn't go back to her. Men, let's say you went and bought some shoes and this guy had a funky attitude, you probably wouldn't even go back to the store. You probably say, okay, I don't even want to deal with that store anymore. I just go to the other store because of this guy and his attitude. And see, I say have a great attitude because your coworkers will love you and your customers will love you. A lot of people don't understand that the customer is the boss. Let me repeat that again. The customer is the boss. I know you think your boss is the boss, but really your boss, he's your boss. But if you don't have a customer, then you don't have anybody to provide service to. So you gotta treat that customer very nice. And if you have a rude customer, think of all the ones that have come in and been nice. You're gonna have more nice customers than rude customers. So, you know, just focus on the nice days you had, and don't let that rude customer throw you off into a negative vibration because they've come away with negative energy. I always focus on the positive of the situation, focus on helping them. Do more than what's required. The reason why I say this is because people will notice when it comes time for recommendation or cuts or a position becomes available. For one, they're not gonna cut you. If you're a good worker, they had to be a fool to get rid of you. They're not gonna cut you if you're a very good worker. If you're an average worker, you along with the other ducks. You hadn't done anything extra, so your name may be on the list. But if they cut a very good worker, they're gonna wonder why this person has been cut. Recommendations, if everybody loves you, you're not gonna have a problem with getting recommendations. In fact, you're gonna have to figure out who you want to ask because everybody's gonna be willing to do it. Position becomes available, they know you're good at it and you have the credentials, they're going to actually refer you to that position because of your ability to do it and because you go the extra mile. Also, it's going to make you feel better actually doing your job the right way and going the extra mile. It's going to give you a sense of self-gratification, and it's also going to help you grow. It's going to help you grow, help self-esteem grow as well. Well, some people may be like, okay, I don't have much to offer. Everybody has something to offer. Everybody has assets. The world teaches us that money is the only thing that matters. Well, that's what I get from a lot of people in the world. But just think about it. Everything that's worth something in life is free. Your family's free. Your kids are free. Your ability to think is free. Your conscience is free. Your subconscious is free. All of that stuff is free. Everything that doesn't hold any value costs. If a house burned down right now, you can get that house. If you were $1 billion and you lost it all, you can get that back. All that stuff is free.